A dark shadow glides through the night. Below on the ground, the defenders are unaware of the approaching bird of prey. Bomb bay doors open and the laser-guided bomb glides towards its target. Only after the bomb hits its target, sirens sound and anti-aircraft guns start firing wildly into the night sky, while enemy soldiers desperately look on their radar screen for an invisible plane. This is in a nutshell the story of the F-117A Nighthawk. In Vietnam, the Air Force and Navy lost almost 2,500 planes to enemy interceptors, surface-to-air missiles and anti-aircraft artillery. War strategists in the Pentagon feared that in case of a battle against the Soviets in Western Europe, losses would be far greater. Therefore, the Pentagon launched a top-secret project called Have Blue. The purpose of Have Blue was to discover techniques to make airplanes invisible on radar. In short, radar works by sending out radio waves with an antenna. Waves hitting an object like an aircraft are bounced back towards a radar receiver. A computer then calculates location, altitude, flight direction and speed of the plane and displays this information on the radar screen. But if the signal is deflected away from the receiver, the aircraft will not appear on the radar screen. In 1964, a Soviet engineer and mathematician Pyotr Uvimtsev published a book containing the formulas necessary to calculate radar reflection. With the aid of computers, Lockheed engineers used Uvimtsev's formulas to make the necessary calculations to ensure that an aircraft not only would deflect radar beams away from the receiver, but would also be flyable. These efforts resulted in 2 prototypes, which were successfully tested until both were lost in crashes. Despite their loss, the Pentagon gave the green light for the next project, Senior Trent. Senior Trent tasked the Lockheed engineers with turning the lessons from Have Blue into a practical aircraft, of which the Air Force ordered 25 under the designation F-117A Nighthawk. Every aircraft returns a radar signal, even the F-117. The size of the returned signal depends on the radar cross-section of the aircraft. And in order to reduce the radar cross-section of the F-117, Lockheed chose a faceted design with swept back wings and V-tail. To put it in perspective, the F-15, similar in size to the F-117, has a radar cross-section of 25 square meters. An F-117 has a radar cross-section of 0.003 square meters, roughly the size of a golf ball. Another way aircraft can be detected is by their infrared signature. To reduce the heat signature, the F-117 was equipped with 2 modified General Electric F-404 turbofan engines, stripped of their afterburner and hidden behind a meshed air intake, again to prevent the engine blades from reflecting radar. Cool air was mixed with the hot exhaust to further reduce the thermal signature. Even the friction of the rushing air over the wings can heat up the aircraft surfaces, hence the F-117 was limited to a maximum speed of 623 miles per hour or 541 kilometers per hour. Also, there was no radar on board the F-117 which could betray its position by emitting signals. Finally, to prevent visual identification, the F-117 was painted matte black and would only fly at night. If you like this type of videos, you can support the channel by subscribing, hitting the like button and clicking the bell button to get warned of any new videos. Suggestions for videos are welcome in the comments. The efforts to design a stealthy F-117 had made the aircraft aerodynamic unstable and required the use of a fly-by-wire flight system to maintain controlled flight. Despite this system, pilots reported it still was difficult to handle the plane, hence its nickname Wobblin Goblin. Avionics were resourced from other aircraft like the F-16, B-52, F-18 and F-15. Onboard navigation consisted of a GPS and an inertial navigation system. A thermal imaging infrared system coupled with laser rangefinder and target designator ensured that the pilot could see his target and guide bombs towards it. The F-117 had a split internal bay which could house up to 5,000 pounds or 2,300 kilograms of ordnance. The usual loadout was a pair of laser-guided bombs, penetration bombs or JDAM GPS-guided bombs. Even the aircraft designation was designed to mislead Soviet spies. The official designation for the aircraft is F-117A Nighthawk, but technically speaking, under the rules of the Tri-Service Aircraft Designation System, the F-117 should have had the prefix A for attacker or B for bomber. Under Project Constant Peg, captured or stolen Soviet aircraft were tested and used to train American pilots. All of these aircraft received an F designation with the 100 series number. Perhaps the hope was that any Soviet spy hearing about the F-117 would be misled in thinking this was another captured Soviet plane. From 1983 onwards, the F-117 operated from Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. To maintain the secrecy, pilots would fly by day in A-7 Corsairs, only to fly at night in the Nighthawk. Against family and friends, pilots told they flew with F-5s in aggressor squadrons. Obviously, the aviation press heard the rumors of the new aircraft, however so little information was leaked that the press not only guessed the destination wrong, F-19, but they also got the shape of the aircraft wrong. In 1988, software developer Microprose released a simulator with the wrong name and shape. Once the existence of the F-117 was officially confirmed, Microprose re-released the game, this time under the correct designation and shape. The F-117 saw for the first time action during Operation Just Cause when the United States ousted Panama's dictator Manuel Noriega. The aircraft really got into the limelight during Operation Desert Storm, the liberation of Kuwait from an Iraqi invasion. During that war, F-117s attacked heavily defended key targets with impunity, lending the aircraft an aura of invincibility. An invincibility which was shattered during Operation Allied Force when NATO aircraft bombed Yugoslavia during the Kosovo War. On the 9th of March 27, 1999, a Yugoslavian anti-air unit managed to get a lock-on against an F-117 when it opened its weapon bay. 2 surface-to-air missiles were fired at the F-117. One missed, but the second detonated close enough to fatally damage the aircraft. The pilot ejected and evaded capture until he was extracted by a US Air Force rescue and combat team. The F-117 served again in 2001 during Operation Enduring Freedom and in 2003 during Operation Iraqi Freedom. In 1984, the US Navy tested the F-117 but deemed it unsuitable for carrier use. In the 1990s, Lockheed would propose a navalized version of the F-117, dubbed the F-117N Seahawk. The Seahawk would differ from the Nighthawk with a bubble canopy, additional hardpoints and radar. The Navy declined the proposal, fearing it would siphon money from its Joint Advanced Strike Technology program, which would later evolve into the Joint Strike Fighter. Lockheed then tried to propose the F-117N design, renamed F-117B, to both US Air Force and Royal Air Force, but both declined to order the variant. The faceted structure of the F-117 required a lot of maintenance, and as more modern stealth aircraft like the F-22 could take over its missions, it became time to retire the F-117 in 2006. All remaining aircraft were initially kept in storage, ready to use again in times of need. Yet in 2017 the US Air Force was ordered to truly decommission and demilitarize the F-117. Despite the order to decommission the F-117, there has been sightings of operational F-117s as late as of 2024. Released documents have revealed that the US Air Force wants to keep the F-117 flying until 2034, primarily in aggressor squadrons or as cruise missile training. So perhaps the final chapter on the F-117 has not yet been written. Thank you for watching. If you want more aviation videos, follow these links.